It's a beautiful Wednesday morning, and so you know you have to wake up to the best of content, best of interviews, and also the best of information right here on the show. From now to 10 a.m., we're giving you all that you need to make you more informed, more educated, and most importantly, on top of issues. A lot happening in town, and I'm sure yesterday you saw the fracas in Parliament, basically between the minority and majority over the declaration of the Pandai seat as vacant. Now, they say they will not cooperate with government if this is allowed to fester. Well, we've seen all of that drama, and we're getting into it shortly as well when Ibrahim Al-Hassan joins me with details on that. It's a Wednesday, and so our female panelists will also be joining us for conversations on all the raging issues as well. And remember, you are a very big part of the show, so keep faith with us. Keep following us on social media at GHOne Television on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, and on YouTube. My name, again, Joshua Kodjo Mensah. Welcome aboard the show, and let's start this morning with Court Today. Mutala Inusa, the man I like to call Queen Ote, has joined me with Court Today. Mutala, good morning.
Good morning, Joshua.
It's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah, you're looking smart as
always. Thank you so much, just like you are looking. You're looking so dapper. Yeah. I'm tempted to ask who you are wearing, but that's
it's actually made in Ghana, by the way. Yeah, it's made in Ghana. The jacket is made in Ghana. You know, we are eating made in Ghana, wearing made in Ghana, and everything made in Ghana.
Okay. Your introduction, you did indicate that 15 days to Christmas.
Yes, 2 weeks, 1 day.
What are your expectations?
That people will give me money. Yeah, and I've said that my ultimate wish for Christmas is a new car.
A new car?
Yeah, I want a new car. So, I mean, if you give me a new car, why not?
Okay, I also want a new car.
I
don't even have old one, and I'm asking for a new one.
Oh, goodness.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Well, of course, it is the moment that a lot of people look into the future with hope and all of that, especially when the new year is coming. So,
absolutely.
Happy New Year, Happy Christmas, and then a prosperous New Year.
Exactly.
Then you see people giving their, what do you call it, the New Year resolutions and all of that. Some of them, they know that, Charlie, in fact. So you have to.
No, but that's the essence of faith and hope.
Yes.
You are hoping that, Charlie, Ebefa.
It
must far. If it doesn't far, we'll fight.
We'll still make it far.
But then the OSP too is still battling in court.
Yes.
At least in the Charles Bissiou case, there's some new developments. Talk to me.
Yes. So yesterday, the High Court, presided over by Justice Audrey Kokuviti, sat, and one of the cases that came before the court, and this visual that you are seeing is not related to this case that I'm talking about, but it's related to Charles Bissiou and OSP. The two of them have a similar. This visuals were taken when the issue of the declaration of Charles Bissiou wanted and all of that. So that is the disclaimer that I want you to just pay attention to. They are in the High Court in relation to the charges that have been preferred against Mr. Samuel Charles Bissiou, one Raphael Mensah, and of course a Dr. Nadedi Tego. Now they have pleaded not guilty. They have been granted bail, and of course disclosures have been filed. The parties have done with case management conference, and what is left is for the trial to begin. Now the prosecution here is the OSP to call their witnesses to come and testify. Then they call the first witness. First, the witness would then have to testify. Then they raise an issue, and the issue was that the witness they are bringing is an undercover investigator or undercover journalist who we told later on that he works with a NAS firm, Tiger IPI. And the issue of Ahmed Swale is so lingering in his mind. So he harbors that fear that coming to court, sit in open court to testify, his identity will be in the public domain, and for him, he doesn't feel safe. So the OSP wants this witness testify in camera, testify behind closed doors. Apart from the direct parties in the case, nobody, the public, the media, will not be allowed to sit in, all of that. So the court asked that they come formally by way of filing an application to that effect. It has been moved. Lawyers of the accused persons vehemently opposed to that and said, look, there's nothing to fear. You have made an allegation. You are the one to come and say that the accused person did A, B, C, D. Come, don't worry, don't fear. Come and speak. We'll subject you. Speak so that everybody will hear, the media, the public, everybody. Now, yesterday, Justice Audrey Kokuviti then had to make a ruling as to whether the request from the OSP should be granted or not. And this is what the court said. The court had sided with the OSP and said that, look, the issue of Ahmed Swale, if the witness is citing that as one of the issues that makes him fear to come and sit in public, the court looked at the law, and then there's some section that protects witness that nature. So the court is now exercising that discretion in favor of the applicant, and the applicant here, the OSP. So what the court has directed is that this witness, he's the only witness that will be allowed to testify in camera. Right. In camera means that you and I will not have access to whatever he says or see him in the court testify. Again, what the court is saying, apart from the accused persons, their lawyers, prosecution, the court clerks who are helping the court within that particular setting, and police officers or the security who are supposed to ensure that law and order takes place, and the court being the judge, nobody else will sit in this particular proceeding where the first witness will testify, the undercover investigator. However, the accredited journalists like us, like myself, if we still want the proceedings, then we may have to apply through the registrar of the court to get copies after his testimony. Even that, some sensitive matters in respect to his identity, as for the identity, some of us we don't know, his residential addresses and all the things that can easily trace him, those information will be taken out of the information that will be given to us in all of that. So yesterday, clearly, what has happened is that that case, the OSP had its request. So on the 10th of January, they will come back and the trial will begin from there.
Absolutely. So that's a month from today.
Yes.
Quite interesting. But still with the Office of the Special Prosecutor, we know that the whole issue surrounding the former boss of the MPA, Mustafa Abdul Hamid, that one is also in court.
In fact, it was a very long day yesterday in relation to the Mustafa Hamid and the 9 others case. And this video that you are seeing on your screen again was the day he came before yesterday. Yesterday, they didn't use the entrance where our cameras will be able to capture them. So this was the day that he came, and then he was asked to come yesterday. And first thing was that they went to Criminal Court 3, where the matter initially was, and withdrew the old charge sheets, and then they were discharged on that. So immediately after they were discharged, then they were put before the Criminal Court 4, where the new charge sheet or the amended charge sheet was put, and the amended charge sheet had 54 counts. In fact, yesterday, the accused persons, 7 of them, including 3 legal persons and legal persons like companies, all of them, the 7 of them pleaded not guilty. You note that they have been in court previously in relation to 24 counts before the 25 counts before the amended charge sheet. What the court has done is that new bail terms were not given. The court adopted the previous bail term, 2 million Ghana cedis for all of them, 3 sureties. But in respect of Mustafa Hamid and the third and second and third accused persons, the surety, one of them should earn at least 5,000, public servant earning 5,000 Ghana cedi, and the remaining 3,000 Ghana cedi. But one thing that the court varied in terms of the bail conditions were to the effect that instead of reporting to the case investigator, they should rather report to the registrar of the court the first and third Tuesday of every month. And on the last day of the month, the registrar is supposed to submit a report of their reporting terms to the court. The reason the court, you knew that the court would have said report to the investigator in this case. The court then had a cause to believe that it looks like the investigators are not complying with the orders, and the court made a similar order in the Wontumi case. So Wontumi, at the last court sitting, the court varied the bail terms, especially the one that he's supposed to report to the investigator. The court has asked to report to the registrar of the court. So this case, it was adjourned. So the 12th of January prosecution is to file disclosures 3 clear days before 12th of January, so for case management conference to happen. So Mustafa Hamid and the other accused persons yesterday, they responded to the charges. They pleaded not guilty and have been granted bail.
Well, we'll be waiting to see how that pans out. But Kwabena Dubois is also not left off the hook as it stands now. His case is also pending.
Yes, yesterday was more like a marathon sitting. Yeah, Justice John Yedunyante. The second prosecution witness, Madame Elite Ruby Adumwa, Director of Finance, National Signals Bureau, was in court. She has already started testifying. So yesterday, further cross-examination, and the lawyers of the accused person, led by Samuel Atachia, started cross-examining or continuing with the cross-examination in relation to all the things that she has said before the court. And interestingly, the focus of the cross-examination yesterday was to the effect that whether indeed the capacity of the witness to testify on behalf of National Signals Bureau, national security, and all of that. And they make the point that you do not have any authorization to be here. And she makes the point that yes, she has an authorization which she produced in court, was read from her director to testify on behalf of the NSB and the national security in relation to the matter before the court, in which Kwabena Dubois and the wife are facing charges for misappropriating some 49.1 million Ghana cedis. So that's the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Remsai, working in court in relation to this matter. This is not yesterday's video. This is a video in relation to what has transpired some of the previous days in court and all of that. So yesterday, and one thing that is certain is the objections. Objections upon objection, because the state is of the view that at some point in time, some of the questions that have been asked, there's no relevance, doesn't point to any relevance. Again, some of them too are repetitive in nature. Justice John Nyedunante, apparently, obviously, at some point here, we then have to invite both the prosecution and the defense counsel to approach the bench, have a word. It happened for more close about 4 to 5 times already within that space. An hour break was given. The lawyers decided to add one. Lawyers of the accused decided to add 1 more hour. The court said, look, next time if that happens, then we may be forced to even go beyond 4 p.m. If you go to the Supreme Court, they will know that you caused it and all of that. So yesterday, that case came up. It has been adjourned. It will continue today. But before today, the party will go to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, remember that Kwabena Dubois and the lawyers filed a motion at the Supreme Court asking that for some disclosures. It was dismissed on a 5-0 unanimous decision. The AG says that the Supreme Court made some orders that they want the Supreme Court to review that. So this morning they will be in the Supreme Court. After the Supreme Court at 1 p.m., they have to report back at the High Court. That is if by 1 p.m. The Supreme Court is done hearing that particular review application and all of that. So they will be back again, and the court today will be following through, and I will bring you an update on what will happen in relation to all that is happening.
Absolutely. But then still with regards to what to expect, SkyTrain.
Yes, Professor Christopher Miyekufi and Solomon Asamoah, today they are in court. Remember that on Monday, we did tell you about the fact that there is a motion filed by the first accused person, Mr. Solomon Asamoah, and the understanding is that it's asking for some variations within the bail terms that were given. And at the last court said that they didn't indicate also that the state or the Deputy Attorney General was not happy with what he described as some delay tactics being employed by the accused person, more or less to delay the trial, because where it has gotten to, that motion could easily be dealt with as and when it has to be dealt with. The trial could have proceeded. The first prosecution witness in the box and is facing cross-examination. The expectation is that today they will come, the court will deal with the motion and then proceed to continue with the trial. It is a direction that Justice Audrey Kokuvite is expected to give. So these are some of the cases that we should expect. And one that we couldn't put on the line now, in relation to Baby Jet Asamoah Gyan.
Yes.
Yeah, Asamoah Gyan is expected in court today.
Okay.
In relation to that action, that judgment of the court in which he's been asked to pay journalist, Anthony Safo, some 1 million Ghana cedis. That issue has been traveling all over. Today, they went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is saying that, look, you cannot go for a garnish order ex parte, put the parties on notice. So today, they are expected to appear before the High Court on notice for them to argue in relation to the garnish proceedings, and then orders will be given or decision will be taken, then we'll know what will happen from there.
Absolutely. Mutala, thank you so much, and I wish you well in court today. That's Mutala Kwenote Inusa, Nene Kwenote, bringing us court today. And we'll take a musical break now. We'll return shortly and get into conversations as well. Well, thank you so much for staying with us. And like I said earlier, a lot of people might have come across what happened in Parliament yesterday. Quite a heated one over the declaration of the Pandai seat as vacant. Minority says, listen, we are highly opposed to this. We will not sit aloof and watch this happen to our very own Matthew Nyindam. But the man who was in Parliament and witnessed all the action firsthand has joined me. Ibrahim Al-Hassan, quite chaotic in Parliament yesterday.
Very.
I saw a lot of people posting our parliamentarians.
Yes, our MPs. Yes. Okay, so the genesis of this, I think 2 weeks ago, High Court in Tamale decided to annul the parliamentary elections for Pandai. Subsequently, Speaker made a ruling that Martin Nyindam could continue to be a member of Parliament at least for 7 days. Because when judgments are delivered by the High Court, there is a statutory mandatory stay for 1 week, 7 days. That expired on December 1. So since December 1, Matthew Nyindam had ceased to be a member of Parliament. And so on the 4th of December, Parliament decided to officially inform the Electoral Commission about a vacancy occasioned as a result of the order from the High Court in Tamale. Now, that's what the minority is upset about. So the minority's argument is that Parliament ought not to have notified the Electoral Commission because there are active processes in court. So one is the application for stay of execution filed at the same High Court, and then also an appeal at the Court of Appeal, right?
Yes.
Now, again, Martin Nyindam and his lawyers are at the Supreme Court, apex court of the land, asking that the entire petition, the parliamentary election petition sent to the High Court in Tamale, be thrown out because it was filed outside a 21-day period after Gazette.
Yes.
Yesterday, Frank Anodomfre, the minority chief whip, asked for a special dispensation to inform the House about this urgent matter. And the matter is that, why has Parliament alerted the EC? So he referenced the active legal cases and many other things as well. Now, Bernard Ahiafo, the first deputy speaker, was the one in the seat.
Right.
He decided to hear from the other side, i.e. from the majority bench. The MPP MP said no. They were not willing to allow Mahama Ayariga to speak. And their reasons are these. First of all, they accused the clerk of parliament of betraying the speaker. They accused the clerk of parliament of dispatching a letter to the EC without recourse to the speaker. So to the minority MPs, Speaker was not aware that a letter had been sent from Parliament to the EC.
And how is that possible? I mean, you have been in parliamentary business for a long time. You should even be in Parliament as an MP.
MP by association.
I mean, is that even possible for the clerk to Parliament to now dispatch a letter to another organization like the Electoral Commission without the knowledge of the Speaker?
That would be extremely shocking. That would be extremely shocking. Especially because the Speaker had given a ruling.
Yeah.
And the ruling was that Martin Nyindam should continue to be in Parliament until December 1. What does that tell you? It tells you that the Speaker says after December 1, Martin Nyindam can no longer be an MP. Now, if Martin Nyindam can no longer be an MP, what is Parliament that has been served with the order from the High Court in Tamale supposed to do? Right? And I can understand that they said these are exclusive footages, so I can understand how incensed you are at home watching this. Right? These are footages that the Parliament TV did not show you, right? Because those footages were censored, right? Yes. So these are your members of Parliament,
Charlie,
and these are the things that they did.
You know, I was busy yesterday.
Yeah.
At the residence of the EU ambassador to Ghana.
Yeah.
And so I didn't get to see these visuals. So I'm seeing them for the first time, and hey, Wow. So at what point did it degenerate into this? Oh, really?
Yes. So the claim is that the woman, that's Kodjo, that's the Tiwa West MP. She claims that the gentleman that she was trying to hit slapped her. And that's what Reverend John Kodjo is also saying, that the gentleman who works with the parliament security slapped the Tiwa West MP. Right, that's a claim. And it's interesting that we captured this on camera.
Wow.
Right, so you see, so before we get here, don't worry, you watch, but we'll get here. So yesterday.
Hey, Kodjo.
Oh yes, yeah.
You know, let me control my emotions now and let you give us a chronological.
Yes. So
wow.
Yesterday, the first deputy speaker had to suspend proceedings because the minority members said they were not willing to hear Mahama Ayarga out. They were not willing to hear him speak to the prayer, because the prayer was a simple one. Parliament must withdraw that letter
to the EC.
Sent to the EC, right, and allow the legal processes that have been triggered to proceed and then end. Now, the first deputy speaker took a suspension. It was supposed to last for minutes. It lasted for hours. So later in the day, the House reconvened, was still the first deputy speaker in the chair. Now, the first deputy speaker said, still the majority side had to be heard on the prayer from the minority side. The MPP MPs said no. They were banging the tables, and we have those visuals of they banging the tables, singing, displaying placards. Right, that was before it degenerated. Displaying placards and what have you, and accusing the president, the clerk, everybody that we do not want a one-party state. Right, the president wants to do a third term. Right, GHOne is a traitor. And many other inscriptions on the placards that were held by the minority MPs. Now, for second time asking, Bernard Ahiafo still could not make headway. So Speaker himself, in fact, Bernard Ahiafo was in the seat when the Speaker walked there and said, give me my seat. Right? So the Speaker came. Bernard Ahiafo then briefed the Speaker of what had happened. So the Speaker took the seat and said, he had monitored what was happening. He understands their concerns. No problem. He wants to be briefed. So the leader of the House, majority leader, Mahama Ayarga, should brief him. The MPP MP said, no way. We are not going to allow Mahama Ayarga to speak. Not today, not then, not minutes after, not hours after, not today and not tomorrow. So Speaker then said, you know what, let's take another suspension. Let's go and address this in the conclave. The Speaker gave himself 5 minutes. Well, the 5 minutes was not to be, so it lasted for well over 30 minutes. They returned, and the story was no different. The MPP MPs were on their feet, chanting, singing, but then the Speaker decided to allow proceedings to continue. So Mahama Ayarga had access to his microphone, and the Speaker said he should go ahead and make his point.
Right.
Amidst the chanting, the shouting, the throwing of papers, the banging on the tables, and what have you, Mahama Ayarga made his point. And his point was a simple one. Speaker's original ruling addresses their concerns. On December 1, Martin Yindam was no longer a member of Parliament. People of Pandai deserve a representation. As we speak, there's only one active order, and that's the order from the High Court in Tamale. And so Parliament had a constitutional duty, and that duty is to alert the EC. And for anybody to behave as if the EC is not aware of the judgment from the High Court is befuddling. That's because the EC was a party to the petition. So the EC had a lawyer in the court. So it is not Parliament that would direct the EC to go and conduct a rerun. That directive has already emanated from the High Court. Right. But the Speaker then said, today, he will give his ruling. But then, in fact, he said he will subsequently give his ruling. He didn't mention a definite timeline. So he has heard the prayer from Anodom Prayer, which is that the notification must be withdrawn. He has equally heard the argument from Mahama Ayarga albeit in bits and pieces, but the Hansard will capture everything. And I'm sure when he's leaving, as he was leaving yesterday, he will be given copy of Mahama Erege's submission. He will study everything and then make a determination as to the way forward. But in the meantime, Speaker said, let's continue. NPP said, no way. Continue for where? So Frank Anodon spoke and said, for as long as this matter lingers, government business will suffer. Quote. This is a quote. So for as long as there's a Kwandai outstanding issue, government business will suffer. So the NPP MPs were not willing to allow proceedings to continue. Well, they were still chanting, they were still singing, they were still banging the table. Speaker said, let's proceed. That was when the majority leader and a number of ministers, so the Labour Ministry's budget estimate was passed, that of Sports Ministry was passed, that of government machinery, many, in fact, more than 30 budget estimates, right, approved yesterday amidst the chaos that you are witnessing, right? So at the point, the minority realized that the noise, the banging on the table, the chanting, the placards were not working because the guys were ignoring us. They are working. What can we do? Let's get physical. Wow. So then they moved from their seats to where you are watching now. So all of them moved and then massed up in front of the front bench. That was when the marshal officials, when we talk about marshal, it's just the security in parliament, right? Yes. They decided to form a human shield between the minority side and then the majority side, because the business transaction was taking place at the majority side. The mission was to disrupt that. So there was a human team that was constructed. Now you can see the marshal's officers. Some of them are small boys. You can see small boys, right? So the majority side realized that they might not have the
ability to withhold.
So they also constructed their own shield behind the marshal shield. And so at the point, the minority members were pushing the security officers. That was when the NDC members also started pushing back. In fact, there's a visual where Dr. Sevinamo Asteka, and I'm sure we have it in there, they'll show it at the point, jumped in from wherever he came from and then was shouting, Choboy. Then he missed the blow. There was a blow directed at him. He missed it. So when he missed the blow, he realized that, hey, Charlie. So he quickly withdrew. Yeah, he withdrew. Yes. So
he missed the blow from who?
From somebody. He missed a blow from somebody. Wow. Yes. So things really got to head yesterday. So in the end, Parliament transacted its business amidst this chaos. Today they will return at 12 p.m. In the noon, and we expect the Speaker to give a directive. And I'm sure many of you are wondering what could have been done in this instance. Yes, the standing orders allow the Speaker to direct that a member who is rowdy, who is misbehaving, leaves the chamber. If the member refuses, the Speaker is clothed with the power to ask the security in Parliament to escort the member out. But the question is, how different would that have been from what you are watching? It would have been chaotic. Yeah. Because obviously, the minority members were not going to just say, Speaker has access to leave the chamber, and as a result of that, we are just walking away.
Freely walking out.
That's it. It will have gotten to a point where the demand will have been that the security in Parliament physically removed the members of Parliament from there. Yeah. But of course, I think the minority made this point clear. It was not willing to allow government business to go on. And the majority also said no, for as long as we are here. In fact, at the point, Mahama Arega said, we will sleep here, if need be, and ensure that things got done. And so that was exactly what happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's some way for me watching all of these, because yesterday, yes, I saw snippets of it on social media. I saw people's commentaries, expressing disappointment in our MPs and all of that. I didn't know it was this bad. And seeing the visuals this morning, I'm sure you're also asking yourself questions. Are these MPs serious at all? Because these are people who are supposed to know the law, help in even formulating laws, amending laws, and then resulting to this kind of lawlessness, to say the least. It's troubling. And I'm sure Speaker Bagbin should be really worried that this is what his parliament has degenerated into.
Yes, of course, those of us who have monitored parliament for a long while, this doesn't come to us as a surprise, and I'm sure to viewers as well. On January 7, 2021, when Bagbin was to be elected as Speaker, we saw Westerns, right? And we thought, never again.
Yeah.
And then there was e-levy. And then we thought, never again. Then there was appointments committee sitting.
Yeah. Where they broke tables, exactly. Literally.
Yes. And then we also told ourselves,
public
never
property.
Again. We also told ourselves, never again.
And this.
And here we are.
So we should
just brace yourself. We should expect more.
More of this.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my goodness.
It is what it is.
At a point you think they're playing, then the next minute you realize that it's getting really
Eventually
heated.
there was a warm embrace, and those visuals we equally have. There was a warm embrace after it's all said and done. A handshake between Mahama Ayarga and a few members of the front bench and what have you. Because Mahama Ayarga had actually succeeded. He's gotten his business transacted, regardless of the rowdiness and what have you, right?
I'm disappointed in the minority because...
At the point, they also more or less like gathered enough numbers and they were almost heading towards where the speaker was seated, right? Yes. So after this, yes, I think we could see how papers were thrown and what have you. And so...
GHANA.
Ghana.
and they came with masks, so I thought the plan was not to speak.
So at the point, one majority MP said, if we're a man, remove the mask. And Speaker said, oh, no, you see, Parliament is not the Ghana Armed Forces. Ghana Armed Forces is made up of only men. So even if we're a woman, you are regarded as a man.
Yes.
But in Parliament, we have men and women. We have men and women. So the MP, the Speaker is virtually telling the MP, they should have said, if we're a man or a woman, remove the mask.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. But I mean, this is shameful. And we condemn it. In fact, I condemn it. Do you condemn it as well?
Oh, yes. You see, we tell the story. We are storytellers. And I have done my job. I've told you the story.
Yeah, we've told the story, but I condemn it. IB told us the story, but I am condemning it because, I mean, this is not what we elected them to go to do in Parliament.
Oh, no, but to be honest, this is avoidable. This is avoidable and necessary. And I mean, even the physical confrontation.
Yeah.
See, the shouting, the jeering, the tearing, yes, they are rudiments of parliamentary business. But I think the minority crossed the line when it physically sought to disrupt proceedings. Physically.
Yeah.
Yes, you crossed the line.
You made a point with your placards,
yes.
all of that.
Yes.
You made a point. There's no need.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, this is why you also need to stay tuned into GHOne Television, GH Today, Inside Out, because these are visuals you might not get elsewhere. Because this is what our cameras picked up from Parliament, and this is where you get all the proper breakdown. For those of you who had no idea what happened in Parliament, with what Ibrahim has just told us, I'm sure it feels like you were there. That's the quality we bring to you here on Inside Out. Ibrahim, thank you so much, but don't leave yet. We have to do the newspapers. Let's find out exactly what the papers are reporting this Wednesday morning.
Okay, Discover. Let's start with the Discover. It says chaos in Parliament as minority fight majority over Speaker's decision on Pandai. And NDC blew 38 million Ghana cedis on Akwetia by-election. That's according to GHOne Team Kodjo. And government CSO WhatsApp group are part of Mahama's blueprint for an elective dictatorship. That's according to the NPP. And Bank of Ghana injects $10 billion to stabilize cedi in 2025. Baumia starts Upper West tour. And NDC youth protest against Nanton DCE over alleged misconduct. Well,
the Daily Guide newspaper is next. Pandemonium in Parliament. Court retains Mustafa Hamid, 9 others bail term. There's also We Won't Abandon You. That's the MPP to Matthew Nyindam. And we saw that press conference held by the New Patriotic Party yesterday. 90 illegal forex traders arrested. 2026 Pan-African Cardiothoracic Surgery Summit launched. And that's it for the Daily Guide newspaper.
The Ghanaian publisher this morning, Ghana to lose $630 million with lithium royalty cut. And minority demands withdrawal of Pandai vacancy notice. Reject the call of sycophant. Ras Mubarak tells Mahama to refuse term extension. And Sibele Energy. Cyber Energy. Yes.
Sorry.
Cyber Energy makes history. Or Guyana deal. Okay. Yes. It was mentioned by Dr. Kamel.
Yes. Benis Mensah Tayui.
Yeah.
She's CEO in the middle there. Yes. And she's also a mentor on the entrepreneurship with Bola.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So that's why I know Cyber.
That's interesting.
Exactly.
Yes.
And so she's got a block to drill oil in Ghana, and we're proud of her.
Yeah.
All right. So the Observer newspaper this morning, showdown in Parliament as majority-minority clash over Pandai vacancy. There's also expanding dialysis and specialist care. President Mahama unveils health facility upgrade plan. Amid political instability in West Africa, ECOWAS bloc declares state of emergency. Well, and MIF staff exodus, fear, firings, and resignations. OSP arraigns ex-NPA boss Mustafa Hamid, 9 others on 54 corruption charges. And the Observer Times also has a story for Santahene to present Boku mediation report to President Mahama.
Yeah, that'll be tomorrow, right?
Yes.
The new publisher this morning, Parliament in complete disorder, minority protest Pandai vacancy, and tourists who allege kidnap snaps police investigators. I think it's safe to say that she fabricated the story. ECOWAS declares state of emergency in West Africa. That is it for the new publisher.
Well, let's do the new crusading guide. 18 million CD debts coalition at GHOne. And it has a picture of the former MD for GHOne, Maxwell Kofi Juma. There's also, it says State Distillery goes after Kofi Juma, KKB, Fosu Enterprise, lawyer and others. And there's also APL raises concern over government lithium rate drop to 5%. And for those of you who missed the conversation with Dr. Kwabena Donkor on State of Affairs on Monday, he talks also extensively about this lithium deal, among others. Minority-majority clash in Parliament over Pandai seat saga. OSAT Legal Services, PRUC pursues media to retract false audit claim. Okay, more trouble at Pambros as High Court restrains Chinese national from entering lands belonging to salt mining company. And Eastern and Zima chiefs cry to IGP and president over political hands in schools affairs. And that's the... Well, let's move on to the next paper, Ibrahim.
Yeah, so the Daily Statesman, NPP kicks against Pandai rerun, and Ghana's Cyber Energy secures oil block in Guyana, and APL raises red flags over potential $630 million loss in lithium deal. President to receive Boku peace mediation report on December 16. December 16 now? I thought you said Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. NALAG raises alarm over assembly members' allowances. That is it for the Daily Statesman.
The Ghanaian Times this morning, 41 illegal forex traders busted in joint police and BOG crackdown. There's also Veep unveils KGL Eve Medical Center at KNUST to transform mental health care. Experts meet in the crowd to deliberate on building resilient healthcare systems in Africa. And Ghana must iconize Bagbin, according to former Kumu MP.
The new trust. Mahama's 11 months in office is a big failure, Ashanti NPP organizer claims. A lithium deal negotiating a royalty rate of below 10% is a rip-off and trust. Dr. Kes. Graduate nurses and midwives gear up for protest over 5-year unemployment. Over years unemployment. A minority demands
972-454 for more information. It's what's happening this weekend, but it's starting from today. The film festival is starting from today all the way to Saturday at the Palms Convention Center at La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. But let's come back to the studio. And you know how we do it on Wednesdays. We engage our female panelists and talk about all the raging issues as well. And this morning I've been joined by Grace Akosia-Moabeng. She is a member of the NPP's communications team. We'll shortly also be joined by a representative from the NDC. But Grace, welcome.
Thank you.
Good How morning. Have you been?
We have been good. It's been a long weekend. And also last week was a long one for me because we're out of Accra,
right.
in Kumasi, with the second lady, the former second lady of Ghana, Her Excellency Samira Bawumia.
Right.
Yes, we started the campaign. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is in the Upper West region. He started his campaign in the northern region. That was 2 days ago, and I think we are doing well with the campaign. We are praying that on the 31st of January 2026 the delegates is Siahene Fuono. They will vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He's the candidate represented 2024 elections, and I think it would be right for them to vote for this candidate because we've marketed him already. When you go into the markets, when you go into the stations, everywhere you go, you see Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's T-shirts, billboards and all that. So I think that we've already marketed him for more than 8 years. So we Ghanaians have seen what he can do, even with his seat as a vice president. You know, most of the times in Ghana, vice president, you don't really hear much about them. The last time I came here, I even mentioned something like that, and I think I got a whole lot of people were attacking me. But I think that's the truth. If you compare what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia did when he was the vice president and the current vice president that we have, you can tell there's a clear difference. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia came out, he upgraded this. I mean, he lifted it to a certain level that if you become a vice president now and you're not able to uphold that, then people will see you not doing anything.
Right. And so he set the standard for vice presidency.
Yes, exactly. A high standard for the presidency, the vice presidency. And I think anybody who takes that seat should be able to match up to that. So if you're not doing that, then Ghanaians don't see what you are doing as a vice president. And I think it's clear. A lot of people are talking about it. And I think the NDC attacked me because they knew I was speaking the truth. So if he has been able to do this as a vice president, then it means when he has the power to be a president, he's going to do wonders. And I know that the delegate sees that the kind of policies that he's even bringing to the party, what do we call it, welfare systems and all that. It means he's going to touch base with the grassroots. That is what we are lacking. We have a lot of issues in the party, but I think we are now catching up. Unity is coming together. We are working together to make sure after 31st January 2026, we all come together, unite, and then work towards 2028.
And how is the reception to Dr. Bawumia like on the grounds? On
the grounds, it's very good. I have been there. You see, it's different when you are seeing it and you haven't been there. I have been to the grounds. I've spoken to delegates, and the delegates agree with what I am saying. Yes, people have different factions or supporters, people that they want to support. But ultimately, the party wants to grow. The party wants to win power. So they think the best person to win power for us in 2028 is Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. And I've mentioned some of the things why they side with what I'm saying, why it is a good time for us to vote for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia again to be the flag bearer of the NPP. He has worked for the party since before 2016. Since 2020, 2012.
2012,
yes. And even with the court issues and all that, for 9 months, he was out there defending the party, working for the party. So I think that if we want to even reward service, because we know that term, Obada Ben and all that. If we want to reward service, I think Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia deserves to take that position of a flag bearer for the NPP in 2028.
We'll get to talk about that a lot later. But then let's also get into the conversation surrounding illegal mining? Because we know that the National Anti-Illegal Mining Operations Secretariat, NIMOS, was set up to practically, and I remember asking the question, what is the difference between NIMOS and all the other methods or agencies we've put together to fight illegal mining? And the answer has been, with this one, we're looking at a more coordinated effort. But then, unfortunately, they are also lamenting lack of resources to be able to carry out their duties. And I believe for the NPP, this is no surprise.
Okay, so I think the last time, before we started this discussion, I mentioned that almost every time I come here, we are talking about Galamsey. Even when Lily was in your seat, where we used to talk about Galamsey. And I think the last time I came here, I said something like this: Mahama has failed when it comes to the fight against Galamsey. You mentioned that all the law enforcement or the agencies that have been set up by the NPP to fight Galamsey, you were asking them the differences between what we had and what they had. There's nothing different. Even with theirs, I don't think there was a point where the agencies that Akufo-Addo set up, we had any issues or we had people coming on air to come and say they need resources. I don't know. Was there any point in time where we had these agencies coming out to say they were not resourced enough or they didn't have what it takes to fight Galamsey? But this is a government that in 2024 used the topic, the whole issue of Galamsey to campaign. We had people in the people who are now cabinet ministers saying that the president has the will to stop Galamsey in how many days? In 1 week. And then Ghanaians believed them and voted for them to come to power. They are now in charge. The kingpins have been arrested. We said Chemahun to me. Look at what Chemahun to me is going to. I even heard one story about him the last time that he didn't have what I forgot him, but I'll remember. Now they have him going to court almost every time. And Galamsey, we are still talking about Galamsey at this point. It's been 1 year. We are still discussing Galamsey. And almost all the time I've been here, there's no time that we haven't talked about Galamsey. I, on the other side, was believing that by the time, because they said they can help stop Galamsey in a week, by this time we shouldn't be sitting here talking about Galamsey. So with the NIMOS, the last time I came here was when they beat the people who read him. I said I was going to ask you what has happened to the MP. The MP and the one in the twin constituency, the other MP, there were 2 MPs involved. These same NIMOs that President Mahama set up to fight Galamsey are being beaten up by his own people. And now they have come out to say they don't even have the resources, the boats, the cars, the money or whatever to fight Galamsey. So sitting here, we are having a discussion. Do you think that this government is really ready to fight Galamsey? The first agency that they set up to fight Galamsey is not even resourced. They don't have what it takes to fight Galamsey. Then I believe it's just a symbol. It's just something to make Ghanaians see that they are doing something. They are trying to solve Galamsey, but it's not going to yield any results. It's just going to be...
So you still maintain the government has no commitment whatsoever?
No commitment. They don't have the political will. No, they don't. And we've seen it. We shouldn't be going round about this. We've had President John Mahama calling these CSOs to the Jubilee House. What was the outcome? And I came here, I said there were no clear timelines to what they were even going to do. Some of the things that they discussed with their CSOs, they didn't have clear timelines on how they were going to achieve that. And here we have one of the what we call the main thing, the main agency they've put in charge of this to make sure Galamsey is stopped. The fight against Galamsey is won. And these same people are complaining about politicians and chiefs interfering in their work. Who are the politicians? Because MPP is not in power. We are politicians, but now, yes, I know. I know what you're going to say. But who are the people in power? Who are these politicians? Yes, the NDC is in power. And here like I said, the last time I came here, we had 2 of their MPs involved in Galamsey. What has happened to these people? Have you followed through to see what happened to them? Or we've just let it go? Ghanaians, we will just make noise about it and then that's it. The problem will die out. But now we have a problem. People are still complaining. I went to the Ashanti region, and I saw people mining by the roadside. You could see them just right by the roadside, all sites. And where are the NIMOs? Where are the security agencies in charge of fighting these, what do we call it, galamseyers? There's nothing. So the fight against galamsey, if we should look at it clearly, the NDC has failed when it comes to the fight against galamsey. We shouldn't be even having any discussion about galamsey at this point. Our water should be cleared by now. We should be, people shouldn't be complaining about getting sick or plants being shut down, because yes, at those sites that are being, rivers that are being mined, people who drink from those rivers are complaining because their babies are being aborted, people are getting sick, our vegetables are being contaminated. The government doesn't care. All they want is to mine. I said something here that Mahama, the lady I met the other day, said, Mahama said nobody in his government should appointee should be involved in mining, legal mining.
Yes.
So I told her, if this is happening, then these people will go into illegal mining because they said nobody should do legal mining. And it is true. It is so clear that most of its people are into illegal mining. That is why NIMOS is having interferences when it comes to the fight against galamsey. These politicians are fighting them, the chiefs are fighting them, the people are fighting them. And they don't have enough resources to fight these people. And then if you look at it, it's the same thing that we did. Is this the research that they are talking about? When I heard research, anytime you meet an NDC communicator, they try to refer you to the old, and MPP did this, MPP did that. Yes, we are aware we did this, we did that. That's why Ghanaians said, we are not going to keep you in power. We are voting you out of power so that we will bring the people who can do this, because they said they have what it takes to do it. And now you are in power. You are doing the same thing. What is the reset? There is nothing new. It's just the old things that they are doing. This
even though they discovered a whole community that was doing illegal mining and burnt it down?
We burnt excavators. We did all that. I can give you what we call it, the series of what we did. We did all that. That doesn't mean anything. So there's no difference. Is this the reset? Then this is a bogus reset, if you should ask me. Yes, there's nothing new that has been added. If you should reset, is like changing the whole narrative. But if you look at what is happening, NIMOS doesn't have what resources to fight galamsey. What you people talked about, you campaigned that you're going to help Ghanaians, but then you have money to buy presidential jets, 4 of them. You have to, am I wrong? We have that money, over $60 million to buy a presidential jet, when the people, the agencies
to
that
buy
you have.
Aircrafts for the Air Force.
Aircrafts for the, no, please. Foul. No, I don't think we should do. We have done our research. We've put out the model that they are buying, the kind of aircraft that they are buying. We've seen it. This is not for the military. It's for the presidential jet. If you should look at it, it's luxurious. It has everything. It has a bathroom. Now, President Mahama will be also enjoying, what do we call it? All the bathroom services in the air, if they should get it. So we have an agency that you've set up to do all these things. And then they don't even have money, but we have money to buy a presidential jet. We have money to do all kinds of things. And so if you should ask me, I think that they are not ready to fight galamsey. It's just a charade. It's just a symbol for Ghanaians to believe that they are doing something, because the NIMOS shouldn't be complaining about resources. If it's a well thought out plan to fight galamsey.
And when you say well thought out, because we've heard from the government says, well, this is how we are going to coordinate affairs. And in fact, when President Mahama met the CSOs, it was one of the things he told them, that let's allow NIMOS to work, give NIMOS time, and then we'll see results. And you say that once we're hearing NIMOS complain, then clearly this was not well thought out?
Right. Yes, that's what I would say. If you have a plan, if you really want to do something and you have a plan, you will make sure whatever is needed from the people, from human resources, money, finances, equipment, tools, whatever. If you are really ready to fight it, like you said, all these things shouldn't be a problem. We shouldn't be even having a discussion, because you know that you have a plan for this, where their movement, everything, boats, whatever they need to fight it, you have it. We shouldn't be coming back. We shouldn't be hearing we don't have enough resources.
But couldn't it be a momentary, lapse that can easily be addressed?
No. I don't think so. If it wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be in the media. If you think that was it, it wouldn't be here. It means it's a serious problem. That's why we are hearing about it, because maybe whoever is involved, whoever is in charge, should have just maybe placed the call or whatever. Maybe it's something that they've been talking about for some time now, and they haven't been able to get the results that they need. So it has ended up here. So I don't think that they have any plan. The plan is, but they don't have any plan. There's no political will to stop Galamsey. If the will is there, we would have seen Galamsey end in a week. We would have seen our waters cleared by now. But if we are after a year into power, we are still talking about this Galamsey. And I said every time I come here, we talk about the issue of Galamsey. Then it means we are not ready to fight it. We are not ready to fight Galamsey. When it comes to the fight against Galamsey, President John Dramani Mahama has failed. The NDC has failed. The people that serve him do not even understand the whole thing. I said it because then they are fighting the same people that you have put out there to stop Galamsey. Your ministers, your MPs, the people who believe in whatever policies that you are putting out there should be able to support whatever you are doing. But if they are not supporting you, but they are rather fighting you, then it means you have failed, because they don't even understand why you set these things up.
But it's 1 year enough time to basically place a verdict on the fight against illegal mining?
They were asking for state of emergency. They were saying they can stop it in 1 week. 1 year is too much.
Well, they say it was because you had 8 years. In the 8-year period, you were unable to deal with it, and that's why they called for the state of emergency. But now, 1 year into the administration, it's still too early to call for a state of emergency.
He saw what was happening. You want to become a president. You are campaigning to people that we want to be a president. Because of this and that, please vote for me so that I be a president. Are you trying to tell me that all the things that you said, you didn't have any idea how you were going to solve it before coming to power?
They didn't understand. They said they did not know the extent of damage.
Please, that is a big lie.
Till they got into government and realized that what they thought was the problem was even greater. What you left behind was worse than they ever anticipated.
And I don't believe that. I think it's a big lie, because they knew the state of the economy before coming into power. I remember very well that their chairman, the chairman of the NDC, said the same thing when Nana Akufo-Addo came to power and was experiencing some challenges. He made a statement that Nana Akufo-Addo knew the state of the economy before campaigning to become a president. They knew the state of the economy. They knew what was going on in the country. They had an idea what was happening with regards to Galamsey. They were in the pits campaigning. They used Galamsey. So you cannot come to power and tell me that you didn't know the state of the Galamsey. You didn't know it was that bad. They knew everything. If the communicator was there, I'm sure she would be fending by now. They knew everything that was happening with regards to Galamsey. That is why they said they'll be able to stop it in a week.
Right.
So you cannot come to power and in 1 year you're telling me you didn't know the extent of the damage that
So they have no excuses at all?
They have no excuses. So that is why I'm saying they have failed. We will be here. We will come back in the next 3 years and we'll still be talking about Galamsey.
Well,
I said it when I came here the last time. And how many weeks now?
You're back here and you're still talking about illegal mining.
You're still talking about Galamsey. That should tell you that they don't have the will, they don't have the power to stop Galamsey. They were just saying it for Ghanaians to vote for them to come to power. They were clueless. They don't have any idea. Until now, they are still clueless. Because the main agency they set up to fight Galamsey is still struggling. Then it means nothing. We are back to square one.
Right. Well, that's the MPP's communications team member, Grace, who have been here helping us to appreciate some of the topical issues. But we'll take a breather and return with further conversations as well. Stick and stay with us.